Hello friends, I'm Sarah Rose, and today I painted a portrait of my sister Amber for her 16th birthday. Before we get into the actual painting, I just wanted to remind you guys that I did make a patron last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, and you should become my patron. Go on over there, check it out. You can follow me or become my patron. Okay, so now we are quickly getting into the video. Right now I'm using my Dixon Ticonderoga black pencil to sketch this girl out. And I definitely struggled, and I also sharpened my pencil too much, so right now you just saw me like making the tip rounder again. Yeah, I definitely struggle with making portraits of people I know, including myself, because I feel like this doesn't look exactly like her. Oh my god, I'm messing up. But so yeah, I just do a lot of it off camera. In like a second, I'm like, wait a second, you'll see it. Yeah, I just threw it down. I'm like, I'm finished with that. But yeah, so I took some photos of my sister the other day with dramatic lighting, a lamp in my living room, and I used that as my reference for today's picture. Today's painting, because Inktober's over, like I said last week, and I'm excited to be able to use paint again. Today I decided to use my Winsor Newton Cotman paint again, just cause I like it, and I thought I would get some good colors for her skin and her hair, and I didn't want to take any chances because I haven't really used the Prang color that much. I do have a review of the Prang though, and I plan on using it more. I'll probably use it next week for whatever video I do. If you wanted help, again, another plug for Patreon, if you want to help me decide what video I should do next week, you can become a $1 patron and take part in my polls. Yeah, it's exciting. Okay, moving back on to the painting. Now I am laying down color. I mixed up some just skin tone. I cleaned out my palette first though, because I think in the last video I had problems with granulation, and it just ended up looking kind of funny on the guy's cheek that I made. So this time I just tried to use less pigment and fresh pigments instead of like old layers of pigments that have just been mixed and mixed and used and used. So I made her a fresh skin tone. In the picture that I took of my sister, the shadows on her face were very like warm tones. There were also some cool shadows, some gray shadows, so I tried to use both. And as usual, I used my Daler Rowney Simply Watercolor round brush in size 8. And now I'm just using some pink color that I did leave in my palette that I didn't clean out. But I eventually go back in and take it off because I thought it looked funny. It dried with a hard ring around it. Some people like that with watercolor, but I tend to not like that around lips unless it's a bold lip, and I wasn't giving my sister a bold lip. Yeah. So, before I forget, the circle that's on her nose is a piercing. I just wanted to say that she doesn't have a strange circle growth. It's alright if you do, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's a piercing. Eventually later I put a white dot on it so it looks like a piercing. Just now I took out a wash brush, or it's a Royal Langnickel Taklon Gold size 10 brush, and it works pretty well. I used it for some of the things in this. I haven't really used a square brush for a while, so it was nice doing that for getting over a wider area, and I also thought it would look nice for her hair, which I'm mixing up colors for. I used the darker brown, I think it's sienna. I used burnt sienna, and I think ultramarine blue. I think those are the names. And I mixed those up, put them on her hair, used the brush in a squiggly motion because, like me and the rest of my family, besides my mom, we have curly hair. So I was just trying to make it look curly without having to put too much detail in it. So I just, with a wiggly motion, used the square brush. And I'm mixing More hair color. Woo! I let the first layer dry. Her hair... Oh, also, my sister's hair is lighter than the rest of my siblings' hair. Hair color, like I have almost black hair. Hers is dark brown. So, yeah, that's an interesting tidbit. Woo! Okay. Just put some neck shading on. And around this time, I was thinking, this looks like her, but it looks kind of funny. And you want to know why it looks funny? I didn't do the eyebrows like I'm doing right now. Some people can pull up eyebrows. Or having no eyebrows, but my sister needed them in this painting. So I do that a lot in my art. I forget eyebrows, and I'm like, this looks funny. And then I remember to put eyebrows on, and I'm like, this looks much better than I thought. Just now I mixed up the yellow color. I just used all 3 of the yellow colors available in this palette, mixed them together to make a nice bright yellow in the background because I thought it would look pretty. I just looked at this painting at this point in the video, and she doesn't have pupils yet, and she looks kind of scary. Yeah, she'll get pupils later. Right now I'm using brown by praying and black by praying to add eyebrow hairs and details, and I just sharpened up my pencil. And I'm adding eyelashes because it looked like she had none. I'm also adding pupils, and I go in and darken, and I also add a little green because her eyes aren't as dark as everybody else's in our family besides my mom, and she has like light brown eyes with some green. Sparingly green though. In the sunlight it looks pretty. And now I'm using peach by praying and also berry red to add pink to her face without being overwhelming because in the picture she was not extremely blushy. Now I'm doing her lips and just going around and trying to emphasize and add shadow, add more detail where I thought I missed it with the paint, and it looks like her. I think the lips are a little bit off too, and maybe the nose is too short. Like, you know, there's always something, like I said earlier, there's always something about portraits that I think whenever I make them is off. Whenever I make them for people I know and when I make them for myself. Now I ripped out my Jelly Roll pen and I added highlights in her eyes, which always makes things look cooler to me, and I just added the highlight to her nose stud, and that's it. I'm just adding finishing touches, so yeah, this is how it pretty much turns out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Amber, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this for you. As usual, all of my supplies are listed in the description box, along with my social media, my Pinterest, and my Patreon. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Amber, happy birthday. I love you. Bye.